What's up guys, Nathan here. Welcome to a TF2 live gameplay commentary. I have not done one of these in a while, and I just wanted to use TF2 as sort of the backdrop to give a quick life update, considering that I have not actually uploaded YouTube videos for a couple years. I've recorded a few like MTG videos, one TF2 video, one Pal World video, but other than that, there was a 2-year gap when we uploaded our last episode of the Mind Melders podcast. Since then, a lot has happened, a lot of good things, frankly. I'm in a pretty good place in life, and I'm just very, very happy. One of the reasons why is because late last year, I actually got married, and so that was absolutely huge. And I also bought a new car, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But I almost wanted to take this sort of chronologically and talk about sort of what has transpired starting in roughly 2021. Or no, I'm sorry. I believe the last episode of Mind Melders was 2022. So we're just going to go ahead and Uber this demo and just make some space for a team, and then I'll probably just back off. So in in June of 2022, my now wife and I, Grace, took a trip to Door County, Wisconsin. I'm actually from Minnesota, so Door County is probably maybe a 5.5 to 6 hour drive. And Door County, for those of you who don't know, Door County is one of the most beautiful places in Wisconsin. It's a pretty frequent area for retirees, just because you can sort of just chill and be on the lake as your life in retirement, which is absolutely awesome. So let me show that really quick as long as I'm in spawn here. So let's see if we zoom out here to Wisconsin. This is Green Bay. Here's sort of all of Wisconsin. We can see here Eau Claire. And then as you go up and sort of northeast, you hit Sturgeon Bay, which is a pretty popular touristy place as well. This is where we stayed for Door County. But there's a lot of cool stuff to explore up to the northeast here. Egg Harbor is very touristy. If we were to just drop in a little street view super quick, it's just, oh, that's probably not a great example. Let's try to get on the coast here. Let's get some views. So I'm hoping we can see an ocean, not an ocean side, a view of the water here. Look at how gorgeous this is, ignoring the Google formatting there. But is this not just like the paradise of the Midwest, right? This is just awesome. So anyway, my fiance at the time, Grace and I went to Peninsula State Park, and this is kind of just a cool state park because you can take this sort of lap around and do this sort of upside down U shape. And there's plenty to see on throughout the perimeter of the island. Eagles Bluff Lighthouse is kind of a famous touristy spot where there's this sort of lighthouse here that used to guide ships. I don't believe it's functional anymore, but then it's just sort of, kind of woodsy here. We didn't really think this was much to look at, to be honest, but there's also Nicollet Beach, which is pretty. Anyway, Eagle Tower is where the actual proposal took place, and I'm hoping this is the correct location. Yeah, so there's this sort of big tower here that's a couple hundred feet in the air, and it is absolutely gorgeous when the sun is out. I'm trying to actually find a better image here. There is, yeah, here we go. Here's where it's nice and busy during sunset. Just an absolutely gorgeous location. And it was an interesting experience because it was kind of busy at the time, even during the weekday, and I had to sort of think on my feet because I wanted this, this semi-private moment to share, with your loved one. And luckily, there was an observation deck that was just a little bit below. Let's see if I can hit the soldier. That was a little bit below the main deck where everybody was standing, and sorry, I had to really concentrate on that aiming for a second. So as I was sort of waiting around maybe for like a moment for the top observation deck to be empty, I concluded that this was not going to happen because people just kept coming up the stairs, and it was like, oh man, we got to like think of an alternative. And my fiance at the time was, let's try to get that sentry down here. my fiance at the time was trying to leave, and she was like going out the back way. She's like, all right, here's this giant ramp, Nathan, let's go. What are you doing? And I was like, no, babe, I really, really want to go down this stairway. There's another observation deck. Like, we got to go see all of the views if we're going to come here. And, obviously being on vacation, she was like, yeah, whatever. Like, who cares? I'll see another view. Sure. And then, luckily everybody was just sort of bypassing this middle deck because, they just want to hit the top sites. And, that was when I got down on one knee and proposed to her. And I luckily slipped it into my pocket beforehand. I had this very careful sequence of events in my head, and I triple checked my pocket did not have any holes in it. I might die to this demo. Oh, wow. We actually ran out a lot of time there. We're just going to heal the heavy and see if we can get an Uber. Maybe? Nah. So that was so neat, and of course it was just a a very tender moment. So that I appreciated a lot. I think I'll have that memory for quite some time. So that was in June of 2022, and then not much, happened throughout the rest of 2022 that's noteworthy, if I'm being honest. There's the minor things in life, like going to comedy shows and things like that. But the next sort of notable thing in 2023 in March, MagicCon came to Minneapolis, and me and a couple buddies went to that. That was a ton of fun, and I'll actually be going to MagicCon Chicago in the next couple days here as I record this. By the time this goes up, I might actually be in Chicago. So if you want to come say hi to me, just tweet at me. And that was just a ton of fun. After that, though, what was interesting is I got extremely sick. I don't know what it was, if I ended up just catching something from somebody at the event, but I had this awful sickness that lasted for 3.5 weeks. It put me basically out of commission for most of May of 2023. I got tested for several things. It was not COVID, strep, or mono, but it was all of those symptoms just producing buckets of mucus. So that was pretty crazy. And that was in my top 5 worst being sick experiences, right next to, I think, the one time I've had COVID. So that was absolutely miserable. But, after that, 2023 was really positive. In July, I ended up buying a brand new 2023 Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid, which I was super excited about. I had been doing a ton of car research before, and I was kind of choosing between more expensive electric vehicles that, in hindsight, I think really were too expensive. I was interested in the Cadillac Lyriq, which is an absolutely beautiful crossover that is fully electric. The problem is it wasn't fully out yet. Dealers that I talked to didn't even have a ton of information, so it was right on the cusp of being new. And I think states like California and Colorado that are classified as sort of clean air states or something like that get essentially first dibs at these very clean green vehicles. So the other car I was looking at was an electric F-150, the F-150 Lightning, which has had we're going to try to save this heavy. I think I might be able to actually save this demo too. We're going to try to Uber, get the double Uber to save both. Oh, that was excellent. We are absolutely pushing out of this right now. So the F-150 Lightning is insanely expensive once you actually start digging into the different trim levels. It was initially billed, marketed in 2021 and 2022 that, it was this $40,000 truck that's electric. And it turns out that was only true for a limited number of fleet customers. It wasn't ever available to the consumer at that price. And once you get into, I believe, the all-wheel drive dual motor version, I want to say it was the Lariat trim that I was looking at, which has the cooled seats and heated seats. That was now up to like 80 grand before like destination and tax and all that stuff. So that was just bananas. The car markets in general are still pretty bananas. They've cooled off a little bit, I think, given the higher interest rate environment right now. That's a spy. That's a dead spy. So that was sort of where I was looking, where my head was at. Oh, that's another spy, sir. No way, you're legit. Oh, wow, that's a legit spy. Is that a legit spy? Dude, I cannot keep track of my spies. All right, I'm just going to get out. I'm just going to get... Oh, jeez. Every time you heal a spy and he turns around, it like feels like such a dead giveaway that he's an enemy spy. But, oh, we only got a sniper to support us on this push here. I don't know if we can... Yeah, we're going to bail early. Poor guy. I just Ubered, bro, and you're going to Girardi me? Come on. What kind of manners is that? So that was where my head was at. I've saved for a new car for a long time. Ever since 2019, when I interned at the company where I work now, I have been sort of setting aside monthly payments for this car, and I have driven a secondhand car my whole life, and so I wanted something high quality. I wanted to, because I sort of hold this philosophy where, yes, cars are depreciating assets, but they are kind of serve as your home away from home. And so I treat it emotionally kind of like real estate, where like if I'm going to have to, emergency overnight in this car, or if I'm going to be spending hours and hours and hours in this car, I want it to be like a premium experience. So for that reason, I really did not want to buy a used car or anything. I mean, let me put this straight. It is a great idea to buy a used car. In fact, I think a car that is maybe 1 or 2 years old is a much smarter decision overall. But I wanted to, I just didn't want somebody else's car. I wanted myself to be the first owner, almost as a sort of achievement for myself, to show myself that I could financially do this. And also when I was looking at the sort of conditions in Minnesota and whether, the equation of an electric vehicle would match sort of the climate. The problem is in Minnesota, 6 months out of the year, you spend below 40 degrees. And often in the winter, you're talking the December, January, February months, even into March sometimes, the temps are below. That's a spy. Got him. We got him, coach. Oh, I might be dead though. When you're in those months of the year where it's below 10 degrees, your range is halved, or, best case 2/3. So I just concluded that where ranges are at today, where, it's pretty standard to be a little bit below 300 miles of range. I just figured for the amount of road tripping we do, it's not quite where we want to be. That's a spy with the Converse kunai because he's super fast. I'm surprised how little I've died this game. I've actually, knock on wood, only 1 death, which is pretty good. Do we have an... Oh, invulns 2. All right, well, hopefully we can make this 3. I think we're just going to go. We're just going to go trying to stuff this sentry here. Take out the heavy. That's good, too. Man, what? Is that a reskin? I cannot tell what kind of flamethrower that is. So where we eventually landed on for the Minnesota climate is a hybrid to try to maximize the greenness of the vehicle while also being able to road trip. We have some, several reasons to travel out of state quite often. So that was sort of where we landed. And with hybrid, you actually get, certain things that you don't get in gas or electric, which is to say a tremendous range in terms of the amount of distance we can actually cover on both a full tank of gas and the battery EV portion. So that's sort of where we landed. And when I was doing the I'm dead. When I was doing the research, believe it or not, Hyundai has just a very premium experience. I would say they are one of the top tier companies for interior quality. When I initially got my car too, one of the things that absolutely blew me away was that every square inch of that car seems like it is engineered to be like it's every square inch is accounted for in terms of its purpose, its engineering, how it is expected to sort of appear premium to the driver and occupants of the car. And what I mean by that is like there's an area for your phone to fit in, like right where the charging port is in the car, and it's like there's this little slot where your phone is just like perfect to slip in. And every like movement fits, like even where the seatbelts hang, there's a little like, is this worth Ubering? Is this worth Ubering? I was gonna say if he turns around, I'll Uber, but I don't think I was gonna Uber that, because I mean we ended up taking care of it anyway. So I think that was the right call. It looks like is there a guy here? I have Uber, so I'm not gonna engage. I gotta watch out for snipers too. Man, this is dangerous. I gotta back up, actually. I do not want to be caught out with a fucking Uber. Why is there a hunt spell? Oh, there's a TP. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, this is actually, if our soldier's smart, he'll probably jump this heavy. All right, we're just gonna go in. I think it's worth Ubering to dislodge this heavy at the very least. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. I got a block. I got a body block for the sentry though. I think we're gonna back up actually. I'm gonna try to escape. Oh, and we did it. We did it. We abandoned our soldier. Oops, and died in the process. Oops, let's disable this. That's actually kind of annoying. So yeah, car's great, drives amazingly, 31 miles to the gallon. Can't complain. Can't complain much. So after that, we had my bachelor party in, I think like August of 2023. That was an absolute blast. We went to this place called Game Show Battle Rooms in Minneapolis. I think it's actually in a suburb of Minneapolis. I forget exactly where it is, but that was an amazing experience. You pretty much, of course, you pretty much go onto your sort of classic game shows like Family Feud. We played Plinko, The Price is Right, and I think a couple of others. But that was a ton of fun, and I'm gonna actually try to help out this NG. Being I'm at 0% Uber anyway, it doesn't really matter. Might as well get this TP up. All right, and then this pyro should let me go. Thank you. So that was awesome. We had a great host, and it was like, he was like the game show host, and we competed. So I think like I had a bachelor party of like, I think it was like 9 guys. And so we went 5 and 4, on teams, and just a ton of fun. When you mix, drinking with being on like a very realistic game show, and there were just like the whole vibe was awesome. Like they had like colored LEDs so that it was like really lit very cool in the dark and all this stuff. So just a great experience overall, just a ton of fun. And after that, we ended up just doing like a big sort of LAN party, playing Rocket League together. We were doing 4v4s in Rocket League, so that was a ton of fun as well, and just absolutely chaotic. It's always great. Like obviously there are differences in skill level when you get a bunch of guys like that together, but most of the people did not know what they were doing, which like makes it even better. Kind of like one of the reasons why like Mario Party is so fun, because like everybody's just learning the mini games usually for the first time. We're gonna be super aggressive actually. We're actually gonna Uber this. Where's the? All right, we got sentry down. This should be an easy cleanup now. Let's see. Yeah, Rocket League. And then, towards the end, I think we ended up just like drinking and hanging out, and that was a ton of fun. Oh my gosh, I got wrecked there, bud. Absolutely wrecked. Wait, does this guy have a bind? Oh my god, what a Chad. Got a bind on fucking Caber Demo Man. Not your binds, though. And also, one shout out to my friend Carter, who gave me a Raga Draga commander deck as a gift. That was sick. And Raga Draga is a pretty powerful commander that I appreciate is very consistent. Like if you build it as sort of a builder on Mana Dorks, Mana Dorks are always going to be really consistent. So, is this a spy? No, he switched weapons. So yeah, thank you, Carter, for that. Then in September, we ended up having the actual wedding, which was a great experience overall. Just a brief moment to talk about the planning. Boy, were my eyes opened for how much it takes to plan a wedding. Like, you kind of just think to yourself, like, oh yeah, what do we got to do? Like, decide, the color of flowers, and then who to invite, and then like some table center pieces, and like call it a day. But it's more about just the coordination, I think, is what took the most amount of time. Like, we had to meet with our DJ to discuss song choices. We met with our hostess from the, do I have Uber? Oh, I have Uber. Run, 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 run. Oh my god, dude. Communicating with the hostess, communicating with our guests and family about stuff that was happening. How did that not get it? Did we get blown up at the top here? I think we definitely got it, but... Oh! Nice, 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 nice. In all of the various meetings with, parents and, people giving advice, and the guest list, and like finding people's addresses and assembling that in a spreadsheet, and then coming up with cost estimates for things. And, yeah, we ended up spending more than we anticipated, and we had anticipated to spend, I'll just say, 5 digits on this wedding, but we ended up spending about 33% more than we thought. So that was an experience in itself, but the actual event itself went so great. We actually had this really magical moment where, as my wife Grace was sort of lining up to come down the aisle, we had all come down the aisle and were waiting, and then you have the sort of music change to the bridal procession music, and as she starts walking down the aisle, because this was outdoors, the clouds lifted off and just made this perfect sort of sun reveal as she was starting to walk down the aisle. It was truly magical. So that I think I'll remember forever too, just like that one special moment. And yeah, that was a really, really special day. So my favorite part was honestly like the dancing and just like hanging out. Oh, that guy got insta-gibbed. I might have to hang back here actually and just sort of Uber in. I think we have to let them push to make space again. So I think I'm just gonna back up for a second. It depends on who I can find here too to Uber. I think it would be best to do like a soldier, but Demo might be second best. Well, he just died. Oh, that's an Uber. We're backing up. We're backing up. I could Uber to save him, maybe. We're going to take the coward's way out and wait for the repush, because I think this is more valuable for the team. Although, where did the NG put his TP? I feel like I have to... Oh, there he is. There he is. Get wrecked, buddy. I mean, he made me force, but we're actually going to turn it into a productive Uber, Mr. Kaboom. Thank you, sir. And he's still chasing me. That is so funny. There's a scout here. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. Oh my god. Okay, we're good. We're good. I need an amputator in a moment like this so I can passively heal a little faster, but I kind of have taken to just running melee default on medic, so whoops. Yeah, dancing was super fun, and God, that was so much fun. One of my favorite moments of the planning too was choosing all of the songs for the DJ list, and I not that I'm like a DJ or like anything special. I'm not. I would never ever say that. But I have two sort of big speakers, and so I'm kind of used to playing DJ sometimes for like events when we have friends over and things, and like you kind of get the what the crowd wants to listen to, and so I was really selective in terms of the songs that I chose for the wedding. And because we had sort of so many generations at the wedding, we had this plan essentially to kind of start off with like the oldies and the classics, something that would be more popular in like the kind of like 50s or 60s even, and sort of work our way to something more modern. We're going to counter Uber this. I'm going to try to keep the NG alive. And we're going to Uber the pan demo. That's totally fine. Well, we countered the Uber, I think, which was good. If that NG went down, I think we might have had our sentry down. But so that's good. I think that worked out. So yeah, we work our way to the sort of newbies. And then it was more of like my type of music that I love jamming out to. Like your like I don't know, a Post Malone and like, God, the moment you need to think about an artist, you just like blank on it. Oh my God. Got him. We got him, boys. Come on. Come on. Come on. I gotta protect this NG2. Or I could just get headshot. Gosh, I need to think who else. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. We had a ton of fun there, and yeah, and then also throughout 21 and 22, just been working and saving and all that for this car and the wedding, and I did get a couple, 2 promotions in 2 years, which I'm very happy with. I just sort of expanded a lot of my responsibilities at work, and that's been a great experience too. Somewhat interestingly, I actually sat in on my first interview from like the interviewing side of the table. I'm dead. There's no way. If this scout is smart, Angie, turn around, buddy. Turn around, my friend. He's just gonna, okay, we have to fight this. We have to fight this. Yeah, and you die to a random headshot. That's TF2 for you. Although we're second on the scoreboard, 17k heals is not bad. Maybe we actually go quick fix? No, we've been having a good experience with Uber. So a couple of promotions, yeah, work's been interesting. It's just, you know how it is. As you sort of are successful at a particular role, your responsibilities expand and all that stuff. So, oh my God, this is the worst place to be right now. What the frick, man? The water physics, it's hard to control. And then I know I said that I'd try to do this in chronological order. I realize I have it written down in my notes in the wrong order. But in 2021, also became an uncle, which has been super great. My nephew is super cute and just a great little kid, and he's really smart too. It's insane how you pretty much witness like the development of intelligence in little children, and because every day for them is like a brand new experience, which is so refreshing. I'm trying to think about if I need to back up here because they were trying to push. Is that a soldier? What the fuck was that? Oh no, how do we get out of here? Oh no, we have to go over here now. That's annoying. See, this is what I really appreciate TF2 map design sometimes, because you can't go in here. I feel like is that a, yeah, it's a spy. The spawn points are just like very well designed in terms of now this is your distance that you need to walk to get back to payload, and that in itself is like a way for map designers to sort of balance the strength of different parts of different maps. Like if red team always has a gigantic walk back to the front line, then red has a severe disadvantage just because they can't respawn. They can't have reinforcements come in faster. So that's always interesting to sort of study those little things. I don't want to Uber. Maybe we take it with this demo. I really, whenever I am like looking at who to Uber, I always kind of give a little bit of a bias towards demos who love sticky bombs, just because I feel like you can never go wrong with sticky bombs because they're just so consistent, so high damage. I might be dead here though. Oh, I want to get him before I die. Dang it. Oh. So yeah, shout out to my nephew for being awesome. And yeah, that's been good. I I had the opportunity to change, I believe, one diaper start to finish, and that was an experience, man. I don't know if I had a particularly bad one-time experience, but it was like a bomb of awful smell, man. It was like not just like a regular dry human poop. It was like, you know how that stuff gets. So yeah, that's been very cool. And then in 2022, I also kind of suffered through, well, I guess it was sort of 2021 and 2022. I had this like weird health issue that I was struggling with in my right shoulder. There was some sort of an event where I think at some point it was yanked by my dog or something like that. I happened to be lifting weights at the time, and I think we're going to try to keep this door open so we can... God darn it. Oh, shoot. I wanted to really heal that guy. All right. So there was like constant inflammation and just this like base level of pain for the better part of a year. We're just going to Uber in. We just got to start killing people and pausing the cart. Oh, we're surrounded though. We're surrounded. Ooh, do I take on a scout? I want to try to kill this scout. Ah, I knew there was a sniper that was body shotting me. I just was trying to navigate my way to safety. And so there was this baseline level of pain for just the better part of a year. And I ended up seeing a doctor twice in the span of like 12 months, kind of 11 months apart. Got MRIs taken both times to figure out like what the heck this thing is. And this was a life lesson for sure, that you should not believe everything that you read on like WebMD and all of these things and like start doing self-diagnoses, because I had this like weird scare where the symptoms that I was experiencing like exactly lined up with the specific kind of tumor that I was reading about online that was that essentially sits on the top of the lungs. And the thing with that tumor is that it presses up into your sort of shoulder region, like the scapular region, and ends up, this pressure manifests itself as pain, also just like, inflammation. And so that's what I had been experiencing. And so I was just like, ready to have that be the news, but it turned out to be nothing in the end. And I still haven't identified. What is the spy doing, dude? Who are you? What is going on? How did I get killed by a rocket? So that was interesting also because it was my first sort of extensive interaction with the health system to, and just sort of understanding how not only fragmented it can be, but how expensive it can be as well. Ended up, maxing out deductibles and things like that. And so that was eye-opening. And, as somebody who works in an adjacent industry to healthcare, it's, finally I was able to sit on the patient side of the transaction and understand, where this is coming from. And so that was, oh my God, this freaking Caber demo. I'm just like hanging out in the open here. I don't know what I was thinking. So yeah, eye-opening experience in terms of the cost of things, and Yeah, that was interesting. Um, Gosh, and then I actually forgot about in my notes, but I just remembered another medical experience I had too. Oh, I even healed the guy. You guys saw it on the screen, and he died. Dang. I need to get on the other side of the century. We might be dead, actually. I think we're gonna try to double Uber to just drive to try to push as much as we can. Yeah, there we go. There we go. That was good. All right, we're gonna try to heal this guy. They're coming on our flank. I'm really just trying to rotate to wherever the front line is at this point. Normally, there's some thought to like my survivability, but once you get down to 0% Uber, it's like we're just trying to get in as many heals as possible. As I get headshot there, I was running out in the open. I had another health issue that ended up being resolved as well regarding something in my throat that had to be removed. So that was an interesting experience. Let me talk about that for just a second, as long as I'm rambling about my life and stuff. I have this theory. This is going to take a pivot, so get ready, folks. The experience of death is something that you think about a lot, or at least I think about a lot. And I fully recognize that, with death comes the end of consciousness and conscious thought. And let's go to Lakeside. Ends conscious thought. So, God, how do I get rid of this screen? And so, from the perspective of the person dying, essentially what happens is, time still passes and your atoms still, remain in your body for some period of time. After several hundred years, your body decomposes and your atoms, get recycled into the earth, et cetera, et cetera. So what is the actual perspective of somebody who dies? Well, essentially their consciousness stops, right? Which means that they don't perceive that's true. However, they're almost time traveling in a sense. Like this particular soul, once it has died, is now time traveling until a time in the universe when atoms reassemble to form a living, breathing human being. And so, because yes, when you die, your body gets recycled, but the fact that we become alive at some point in time means that atoms can be rearranged, through this very complex process that we call life and birth, into forms that have a consciousness. So, when somebody dies, yes, they return to the primordial soup, like they no longer exist as a person. However, when there is when you consider the scale of the time in the universe, ultimately, not saying those specific atoms, but atoms will reassemble to form a living being. So, in a weird roundabout way, that this conclusion of sort of like time travel is what I concluded when I thought a lot about my procedure for this medical condition in my throat, because I had to be put under for the operation. And what happened was nothing. Like it was less than, because I've been semi put under for when I got my wisdom teeth out, and that was like a very heavy sleep that I couldn't move my body. Like I remember my limbs were being very heavy, and I just did not have the will to move my body, in addition to not being physically capable of moving my body. But this experience was entirely different, because when you're put under, where they have like the port in your vein and everything, once the anesthesia hits, it literally went from like one moment of consciousness to the next. Like I like teleported essentially. And in my first few moments of being like online, of like regaining my thoughts and consciousness, like that, my conclusion was like immediately of like, I knew it. Like it's time travel. Like you literally, it's not sleeping. You don't have blackness when there is no consciousness. You just move from one frame to the next, right? Because you don't experience, you are missing that hour and a half that the rest of the world has. So in some way, I sort of related this to this concept of death, to sort, I don't know, maybe in like a self-calming way, as like a way to sort of not what am I, sorry, I'm focusing on this demo. I'm trying to come up with a word that's perfect for this description. Where did he go? They've got a strong front line. I don't think that's actually smart to be in there too long. in this weird way, I sort of, you sort of use this conclusion, or I've used this conclusion to sort of calm myself around the idea of death, making it seem not so bad, because essentially once you're put under and you lack a consciousness, like you have now experienced what it is like to die. And so I'm not saying that experience was like me dying by any means, but if it's the closest thing that we have to dying, I have now experienced it, and I am now okay with that result and experience. So roundabout way, and boy, what a side tangent there. But that was like a very important thought I had, I think, last year as well, that that I just want to regurgitate in this format, as I'm just talking about everything about my life. So not not every video will you kind of hear me open up about these sorts of thoughts. Like I'm not bashful about these kinds of thoughts by any means. I thought I could maybe save that heavy, actually. All right, we gotta go. We gotta go counter push. And I got out of that sniper's line of sight immediately. I don't know if you guys saw that sniper just hanging back in spawn there. Can you? No. I was gonna say I was gonna try to shoot him with a crossbow, but he was kind of wiggling, so I didn't want to risk it. My 1 second of heals there. Oh, that's a spy. Hello. All right. So yeah, interesting experiences all around, and the nerve damage thing got better as time went on. It was one of those things where, I ended up doing stretches, seeing a physical therapist about it. Like how in the heck can I relieve this constant level of pain? And so I've just sort of concluded that now it's just sort of permanent nerve damage. It doesn't hurt all the time anymore, but it sort of flares up on occasion depending on what I'm doing. What I've noticed is I have started to aim with my wrist. Like when I play a lot of Valorant, you're aiming with your shoulder and your arm quite a bit to try to be as precise as possible. And so games like Valorant, playing Sniper in TF2, for example, playing Widow and Overwatch, things that are very like hit scan intensive, tend to aggravate it a lot. And so I sort of have to take breaks and ensure that my posture is really good. Oh, see, people move at the last second like that. Drives me crazy. So that is. And one of the things too, just talking broadly about sort of bodily malfunctions, is like it really does sort of show you. Oh yeah, come on demo. Come on demo. We're going to finish this thought once you wreck house, buddy. Let's see it. Let's see it. Can he get 2? No way. He did not survive for the second. We're actually going. Oh, I can't shoot. No, I wanted him. That is in what we call in the biz a TF2 moment. All right. I think we're just going to keep healing because it is easy on the brain while I talk about other things. The server is Uncletopia, located in New York. I have a decent ping, so if you guys... I found personally in TF2 that the community servers are much better on average than like the Valve Quick Play, because there are way less bots, like almost none, just because there tends to be a higher sort of admin presence. Hey, you're gonna call for medic, bro. You gotta better listen to the medic's call, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm over here. All right, we got to get on the front line here. I don't know what we're doing. Oh, man. So, yeah, health system. Yeah, just saving for the wedding, man. It's been a lot of saving throughout the past couple years. And what I'm hoping to do in 2024 is buy a new computer. I'm actually looking for, so I'm currently on a 1080, not a 1080 Ti, just a regular 1080. In addition to a pretty outdated CPU, I want to say it's like a 5770K or something like that. So it's time for an upgrade. Do we Uber the Scout? Do we do it? Do we Uber the Scout? No, I think we have to go over here. Oh, body shot. Well, that was to be expected. I sort of just blindly walked in and hoped that it wasn't going to be shot. Other than that, I've been playing several different games. I've been playing a lot of Power World, and once I convinced my wife to start playing it, she's been addicted to it as well. Power World is really kind of up her alley because it's just like sort of farming and economy, interacting with very cute sort of animals, and she's not really into the battling side of things. She's into more of the farming and grinding. But it's been fun either way. We both end up sort of grinding in our own bases in order to get to level 50 and capture all the legendary pals. I think I'm at like level 47 in my Power World with I think XP gain at like 10x or something. So the grind isn't too bad if you do it that way. There is a sniper over there. You know, I don't mind Ubering an NG with crits. I really don't mind if he has the Frontier Justice because oh my god, that demo, dude. Rest in many pieces, bro. Too many heals to dish out. This kind of reminds me of Highlander, the old days. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but there are these things called newbie mixes, which are hosted. I don't know who hosts them now, but it's basically just like a giant Discord server that you join, and you end up just learning about competitive TF2. And I think it was quite big back in the day. It was a ton of fun where we would basically play like comp matches, but against like people of a similar skill level. So think like iron, skill level, something like that. If you're using I think it's called UGC, United Gaming Championship, something like that. But that was a ton of fun. And anyway, I was just reminded of like sometimes in Highlander, oh my god. Oh no, I dropped again. That was so bad. I was thinking about Ubering. I was thinking about it, but whatever, you make some decisions and sometimes they are not correct. Still got 8k heals though, that's pretty good. I think what I'm actually going to switch to is the Kritzkrieg because what it seems like we've been lacking a little bit in kill power, and we don't really need to push as much. It's kind of a stalemate, so it's really just at this point about killing them as they try to get to the cart instead of strategically making pushes. In addition, I do like how Kritzkrieg is quite fast in Uber charge gain rate. A Beggar's Bazooka with the Kritzkrieg is like super dangerous in close quarters. All right, they're going to try to push. I have a feeling they might try to jump. That's the thing. That's the main difference between competitive and casual TF2. Like soldiers and demos who actually know how to utilize their movement to its fullest extent. Roamers are just like so terrifying as a medic. God, I'm so fast. Is that a boosted scout with the whip effect? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Next up, as I conclude my commentary, I think we're just going to play some NG here as we close it out. So, Power World has been a big game we've been playing. I played all the way through Baldur's Gate 3. I finished that one time and ended up absolutely loving that game. I think that's one of my favorite games of all time. Definitely in the top 3. So that's been a ton of fun. And, someday I'll play another playthrough of Baldur's Gate, but it's one of those games where I want to wait a couple years because boy, is it a time sink, man. Games nowadays that are that massive are so time intensive. And sometimes it's like, man, I just don't like, I want to be grinding Baldur's Gate, but like, man, I have a life to live, and that's like, I think I put 72 hours in my first campaign, which, as a full-time working person is a decent amount of time. And I know like people who are playing WoW and RuneScape have that like look away meme where they're like, if that's a lot of time, you know what I mean? Man, I need more sitting emotes. They always look so awesome. Actually, maybe we'll just go. Nah, we'll go NG. It usually the first like couple of seconds on offense as NG is just kind of dick in your hand. So we're just gonna like chill anyway. We have 3 NGs. All right. We're gonna try to prep for an early push here. I think we want to set up on the left actually, because otherwise our TP will be destroyed. This is what I like to call the TP only NG, where you just like set up your TP and try to keep it alive as long as possible. All right, let's go. Red can still push through here, so we want it to be somewhat defensible, but still away from spawn. Maybe we just go there. Baldur's Gate 3, I've been brewing a lot of Magic decks, which is one of the reasons why I actually started uploading more Magic-based content, just because I want to kind of share those recipes that I've crafted via deck building and things. So yeah, I've just been occupied with a lot of brewing. I've been trying to watch some more movies too that are kind of culture classics. Like I watched like Terminator, and I think I'd like to watch Terminator 2 as well. I watched a couple of like John Wayne movies, like what was there was one where he's like alone, or no, I think that was Clint Eastwood actually. There's one where he's like in the Wild West, and this Native American tribe, I believe, is like invading their town or something, and at some point they steal like somebody's kid or something. I'm not really sure. So clearly I remember a ton about, and I'm taking this guy's medal. I feel kind of bad actually. So I don't remember a ton about that one, but I've just been trying to like familiarize myself with like older movies that are classics. In addition to, there's a couple of shows that are coming out that are that I'm hyped for. The season 4 of The Boys is coming out, which I'm excited to return to. I like that universe because it's I just like very gritty, realistic shows. I think they're very refreshing to sort of not have to go through the whole like plot armor trope where people can really die and nobody's safe, and it's not like especially when writing is really ham-handed. I notice things like that in film, which really take me out of the experience. So yeah, that has been good. This demo's going to try to spam the sentry out, I do believe. And if we sit on the cart, I can get fresh ammo too, but it looks like we have sort of a clear path right now. All right, and with that, I think we are going to kill our teleporter, and we're going to build an exit here, and then I think we'll go TP back to base. Other than that, you know, I just wanted to sort of conclude with a quick conversation of like, why have you decided to start uploading to YouTube again? And that answer is, frankly, that I want to improve my speech skills. I've noticed in work settings, just, you know, various settings that I would like to be a more clear and concise speaker. Trying to get rid of things like vocal pauses, ums and uhs, things like that. And, you know, I also just like the game of YouTube of trying to generate, you know, views, which translate into like social clout in some weird way. Not saying that that's like what I'm really driving for is social clout, because I mean, hey, playing TF2, like what kind of social clout does that get you, right? But It's also an outlet for creative expression, and it gives me a meaningful goal to sort of be involved with during the most depressing months of the year during in Minnesota. So that that's also a primary reason why. It's just that, when we have such long winters, they're 6 months, or not really. I mean, not really 6 months, right? Like that's everybody always says that Minnesota winters are 6 months long, but it's really more like 4, right? It's just that those get, and sometimes you just need a reason to do something inside that sort of checks boxes for allowing yourself creative expression. So, when you can't be refilling those sunlight batteries during the summer, it just helps to feel like you're still sort of contributing, even though, I mean, there's no true purpose to all of this in terms of, we're just sort of sharing our shared experiences online with the internet. But I do also appreciate like the sense of community that this channel sort of creates, even if it's in my own head. I just like the fact that, even if you guys don't like what I'm uploading or you're not interested, there's still sort of a core group of you that will watch my stuff. And the fact that there are people out there that will just like watch what I make, kind of no matter what, in some sense, is really compelling to me. I think that's just really cool, to think that I have sort of a positive effect on people. So that's sort of the reason. That's my 2 cents. TF2, I will make more TF2 content. It seems like you guys really sort of subscribe to me for TF2. The game is very old, and it doesn't bring me a lot of joy to play continuously. I'll put it that way. So I like to play a variety of games. And so I think I'll always just sort of upload what I want over the views that it can generate. So that's why I'm doing Magic. I just absolutely love Magic the Gathering. And yeah, I'll be uploading that and whatever I find interesting. So with that, I think we're just going to go ahead and DC to main menu here and wrap up the video. So that was my TF2 live commentary as of February 19th, 2024. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like on it. If you like this sort of content, then subscribe, and I will, make more like this in the future. Live comms are super easy to make, which is why I like them a lot. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you all for watching once again, and hopefully we will see you all in the next one.